Alright, let's go. Chapter 3 of Heroes Rise, the Prodigy. The lowercase. You free fall to the streets below, dropping 10 stories before you tense your muscles and feel your flight powers kick in. Most people think that flying feels like floating, but you know it really feels like swimming. It takes a lot of muscle control and endurance. Luckily, you've been training for years, the way a runner trains for a marathon, so you can fly today without much trouble. You pull upward, feeling gravity work with you instead of against you. You stretch out your arms and climb into the sky, the exertion causing a familiar tingling in your abs. You allow yourself one joyride up into the bank of clouds before swooping back down towards the cover of the skyline. Having your hero license makes flying legal, but you still don't need to start your career with an unregistered flying ticket. So you cruise low against the buildings towards the heart of the city, downtown Millennium City. Every time you use your powers, your power level lowers. Different power uses exert different costs. For example, the kind of normal flying one lowers your power by 2. It's important to keep an eye on your power level as you begin to enter battles. You're strong at 98. Your flight from eastern fringes take you across the quaint brownstones of Rhine Hill and through Valor Park. Pulling in closer to the high-end metal giants that mark downtown, you land on a ledge lined with silver statues of Greek gods and goddesses. One of the hardest parts of being a rookie hero is finding cases. A fact that you're reminded of as a pink-clad heroine bothers some teenagers in a nearby alley, and 3 metal sentries thunder through the sky above you. Even if you are lucky enough to stumble upon a decent case, you'll still have to beat out dozens of other aspiring heroes to accomplish the mission and get the credit. So how are you going to find your first legitimate hero opportunity? Patrol the streets, search the hero classified, talk to your PFPP agent, Jenny Yu. Hero classifieds? That last one makes sense. While your life was turned upside down by a parent's imprisonment, one of the only people you could trust was the agent assigned to your case, Jenny Yu. Even though Jenny does not have powers of her own, she loves power hero stuff as much as you do. So when you had no one else to talk to, you and Jenny would spend hours gushing about your favorite heroes, games, and comics. Of course, Jenny is the first person you want to call to tell about your heroic start, especially since she'll have advice on how to find a good first case. You hold up your arm and press a button on your metal wristband, popping open a panel to reveal your embedded me chip. You cannot imagine what life was before humans merged with their tablets. Poppy does so much for you. Hell, most days she even feels like your best friend. You also have your me chip to thank for your powers, since the current accepted powered origin theory is the advanced technology paved the way for powered abilities. This theory suggests that once humans integrated with tablet technology, these tablets begin to cover many basic functions, like memory and navigation, for example. Once adjusted to this technological enhancement, the human body was able to evolve and unlock new potential in the form of powered abilities. These powers then begin to solve pressing global problems, since humans could now do things like generate natural resources and survive in harsher conditions. It seems that the early 21st century technological boom laid the groundwork for 22nd century powered boom, which has once again caused the world to change and starting up in exciting ways. However, despite the me chip's ceaseless wonders, you currently just needed to make a call. Poppy, you say, call Jenny Yu. Of course, dear. Oh, manly again. Of course, dear. Big Chip Poppy echoes in your ear. Please ask Jenny how she's doing for me. Oh, God. Jenny picks up right away, her face appearing holographically in front of you. Since she's such a geek, you tend to forget how pretty Jenny is. She's half Korean, half British. She always wears her hair in a tight ponytail and never applies a bit of makeup, causing her to appear sleek and no-nonsense at all times. Actually, you think Jenny is super hot. Sadly, she also happens to be super gay. Well, there you go. Right now, Jenny looks a bit surprised to see you, probably because she had never previewed your Love Machine costume before. I keep forgetting I named myself that. I assume this means your grandma gave you your license, Jenny says, traces of her British accent still present despite years of living in Millennia City. You mean you know Grandma had my license and didn't tell me? You ask, mildly offended. Please, your grandmother would have murdered me if I ruined her surprise. Eddie, well... British Korean, I can't do that. Anyway, check your email for your birthday present, Jenny says, looking you over. And just so you know, that costume makes your waist look bloody enormous. That journey is such a charm, I'm not missing a beat. You shoot back. Save the girl who channels a pony every day of her life. We all can't be as gorgeous as you, Janet. Oh, you're just jealous. You caught me, I'm positively batty within me. Now after all, I've got another tip for you. A fingertip, if you will, Jenny says, chuckling to herself. What does that mean? Before you finish, Jenny hangs up on you, one of her favorite things to do. Knowing calling him back will be no use, you ask Meet Your Poppy to open your email instead. And sure enough, Jenny has sent you quite a fantastic birthday present. A link to a hand-picked heroic case listing. Maybe she's not so intolerable after all. You smile as you start to read because the case has been sponsored by Rexford Skillers, MC's wealthiest playboy. His family had a major stake in the construction of the Big Sur fusion plant. Now all powers all of Western America. Turns out Rexford recently held a charity gala at his townhouse for the Powered Orphan Fund. Powered Orphan! Ah. Okay. Naturally, it was the most must-attend event of the social season, especially as the theme was a powered masquerade ball. The party was a smashing success, but the next day, Rexford woke up to find one of his most prized possessions had been stolen. A party guest managed to get past the considerable security measures and steal a valuable Angelino artifact. 1 second, please. Rumored to have hidden powers. What little is known about the creature. This is one of a kind, highly valuable, and potentially dangerous. Police are looking to the theft. But Rexford wants the artifact so badly that he opened the case up to any powered hero with a reward of $150,000. You nearly choke. That's a lot of money. With such a large reward at stake, along with inevitable media coverage announcing the high-profile case, you know the competition is going to be fierce. Check the page views on the listing, and of course it has to be visited thousands of times. Still, you promise yourself to go big or go home. That'd be certainly going big. You really need the reward, the press coverage. I heard a lot of people. That artifact is a major public hazard, and it's your duty as a hero to keep the threat contained. Unfortunately, the only clue available in the case is a photo of the suspected thief, who is an unnamed +1 guest at the gala. The photo featured a man dressed in an expensive suit wearing a mask themed after regalia, a very flamboyant hero/rock star. To match his emerald-encrusted mask, the thief's suit is lined with green piping, and fingertips are painted yellow. This photo isn't a whole lot to go on, but you start to wonder what kind of... But then a thought hits you so hard, you almost fall off the ledge. And you die. End of the story. You literally fall off the edge. A thought hit you so hard, you literally fall off the edge. Get it? Jenny's fingertip. She's a genius, you think. Knowing those fingertips may be your one shot at solving this case before anything else. Everything... MC's government requires a large-scale business project to designate a portion of their budget to power arts spending. Since Grandma has a particularly green thumb, she sometimes cultivates unique flowers commissioned by emerging property owners. One of Grandma's biggest sales is a species of crossbred orchids that sing classical operas. What? It took Grandma years to achieve this horticultural miracle. There's one flaw in the design. If you touch one of the orchids, it turns your fingertips a different color, depending on the opera it was trained to sing. Grandma sold these orchids exclusively to one downtown high-rise building, which means that if the thief's fingertips weren't painted yellow from Grandma's orchids, you know exactly where he lives. Since the only penthouse apartment got the really Herman orchids. That's because the reason that Jenny sent you the case listing. She also knows what the operatic orchid and printing. She must have seen your thief's fingertips on the case photo and waited on the information, knowing you'd be legally licensed to investigate today. On your birthday. You leap off the roof in the direction of the yellow orchid penthouse, excitement coursing through your veins. This is a very big case, so how do you feel about taking it on? Occasion. A case with this much money and publicity at stake should be handled by someone with more experience, or any experience for that matter. Still, the fingertip lead is one that few other heroes could follow. Sorry or not, you can't pass this opportunity up. The orchid apartment is in central downtown, so your flight will be super short. Stop with the super puns. Super bullshit. It's also good that this thief can afford a penthouse, since it'll be pretty easy for you to access it. Access by flight. Your first priority is finding the gravitas, but catching the thief would be an added bonus. Hover near the windows. Let's hover near the windows. It seems like a good idea. As the ritzy high-rise comes into view, you can already see Grandma's yellow orchids on the balcony. You relax your muscles and slow your pace as you approach the building, which proves difficult, as an adrenaline pulses through your veins. You drop down along the wall, trying to keep out of sight. A building like this is bound to have anti-pirate security measures. Hovering close to the penthouse window, you peer into the living room to see if anyone's home. And your heart nearly stops when you come face to face with a man standing inside the apartment, inches away from the glass. It's definitely the thief from the case photo, right down to the yellow stained fingertips. He currently looks less regal, far more menacing, with everyone civil and long greasy hair. You freeze, trying to decide what to do. Unfortunately, the thief thinks faster. He whips out a handgun and points it directly at you. Okay, let out an energy pulse, yeah. Panicked, you close your eyes and let out a low-level energy pulse. You hear the glass wall separating from you and the thief's shadow when you open your eyes. The thief's gun lies on the floor and melted beyond repair. A loud alarm begins to sound and the thief makes a run for it. Luckily, with the glass window now broken, you're able to fly right after him. As you pursue the thief, you expect him to run for the front door, which is why as you're puzzled as he heads deeper into the lavishly decorated apartment. You race after him into the master bedroom suite, and as you do, your question about his escape plan is suddenly answered. The thief doesn't head to the front door because he's got a teleportation unit right in his bedroom. Whoa! Personal teleportation units were supposed to be the next wave of transportation future, but the automotive industry piled millions of dollars into research that revealed that the potential cancer risks of atomic fission. So the government had to ban the sale of the units, putting everyone back into planes, trains, and automobiles. The thief doesn't seem to care about the potential carcinogens, however, since he is already inside the unit programming the machine's teleportation course. Without hesitation, you point your hands at the console and let out an energy burst rip into the controls. The thief screams and jumps from the smoking unit, furious. He looks up at you and snarls, "That was a very big mistake, rookie." You can barely hear him over the alarm blaring in your ears, so you know it's only going to be minutes before the police show up. So you got to act fast. The thief seems to be thinking the same thing as he jumps to his feet and pulls something out of his belt. What is your next move? Stun the thief with a focus energy blast. Fly and physically attack the thief before he can act. Use an energy crackle to disarm the thief. Throw up an energy shield to discern the nature of the thief's weapon. let loose a powerful energy barrage. Who cares if the thief survives the attack? I do. Let's disarm the thief. He let out a small crackle of energy meant to knock the weapon from the thief's hand, but he unsheathes an oversized, red-hot sword that slices through your crackle with ease. Looks like he has a high-tech energy disruptor blade. The thief launches at you and takes a swipe at you with the blade, an attack you narrowly dodge. He now has to come close enough to the close-range attack to take him down. What's your next move? A couple of well-placed punches will do that. Short-range energy pulse will take him. Let's keep the distance. You let out a pulse of energy, but the thief once again deflects your attack with his disruptor blade. Fool you twice, shame on you. He gives that thief an opening he needs. He hits you square in the chest with the butt of his sword, knocking you to the ground. He then plunges the sword down at you, a deadly blow you only managed to dodge at the last second. Action! Howling with rage, you fly to your feet and tackle the thief as fast as you can. Caught off guard, he drops his sword and goes reeling across the room. Just as you have the thief disabled, you hear the wail of police sirens from the streets below. Slugger! You curse because you're almost out of time. Slugger? What? That's such a weird thing to say when you're angry. You still aren't sure if the gravitas is even here in the apartment. You can consider your options. You could wait for the police and work with them to locate the gravitas. That would garner some goodwill with the MCPD, but also might compromise your access to Schiller's reward. Or you might interrogate the thief before the police arrive and try to find the gravitas on your own, taking all the reward and credit for yourself. But if you do this, you'd definitely be pissing off the MCPD. What are you going to do? Better decide quickly. Screw the police. I'm going to handle this on my own, or working with the police is the best way to solve this case. Let's work at the police. 15 minutes later, you stand outside the building watching as the police haul the thief into the back of a department van. Next to you stands Officer Sanders, a grizzly veteran with dark, almost black skin that contrasts his grayish-white hair. He has a long scar where his left eyebrow would be, making his face appear lopsided, considering his right eyebrow is bushy and white. His aged look doesn't seem to go with the technologically upgraded MCPD uniform that is now standard issue, but he still has quite the commanding presence. You've just told the Officer Sanders everything about finding the thief. Well, not everything. You said you figure out the fingertip lead with an anonymous tip, since no one needs to know about your connections with Grandma and Jenny, or they are not necessarily a brilliant detective. Just yet. Turns out the thief's gun for hire named Tracker. Officer Sanders says in a low, gravelly voice, he's got the power to discover the location of any person or object on the planet, so finding and stealing things is his specialty. You just helped out us solve about 30 open theft cases. Anything to help, sir, you say, laying it on a bit thick. You sure he's the one who stole the gravitas? Listen, Officer Sanders said, leaning in to whisper, I'm technically not supposed to say anything to you, but if you found this guy when no one else could, we owe you one. If anyone asks, you figure out this next part on your own. Got it? Got it, you nod. Already thinking that was a good move to work with the police. Tracker said he was hired by Smither to steal the gravitas. Officer Sanders said, his remaining eyebrow crinkling with severity. You freeze because you know exactly who Smither is, and learning that he's involved is not good news. We've already got the officers en route to Smither's headquarters, but I'm guessing his headquarters blatantly labeled. It's probably out there neon sign, Smither's place. Smither's, neither's. Ooh, was my guess if you leave now, you can get there first. I'll tell my guys you're a friendly place. Just don't get in their way. I won't, you say, reaching to shake Officer Sanders' hand. Thank you, sir. I'm sure you can handle this? I don't need another dead rookie on my conscience. Don't worry, you'll be seeing a whole lot more of dead rookies. I mean, of me. You promise. The name is Love Machine, by the way. Well, good luck, Love Machine, Officer Sanders said. Against Smither, you're sure as hell gonna need it.